push for women problem anymore. And she was very smart. I shouldn't do that, would I? Why don't we promote ourselves? I said, why don't we go to, Islamic State here? And he thought about it, but remember that there's no church here, there's no other religious place and all that. So anyway, she said, okay. After a second meeting, he said, well, how about if I get you the piece of land and you build it? It was a very challenge for me. And I had thought about it. And of course, then I had a lot of the contact, with the peons that started and all that, international contacts. So, yeah, I said, yeah, all right, I'll do it. So they gave us the land there. And I started, unfortunately, coming to the media. And there was a lot of problems. I said, and she then stood up. I can't remember her name. That was a good lady. And she said, okay, if you can find the money, it's yours. So I worked it out, got the plan. It was going to cost $250,000. So I took my begging bowl, went around talking to people, asking, and went to Auckland, places like that, in Wellington. And then of course we had a regional Islamic Dawah Council called Rise Up, Regional Islamic Dawah Council, which is based in Malaysia. So, and I became the Tunku Abdul Rahman, used to be the Prime Minister there. And so he retired and he set up this thing. And so he joined them too from this country. And I was deputy chair with him. So we had this contest. So there was this guy from Sarawak, who was chief minister there. So I wrote to him too. And I was very surprised. 2 months later, I had a $50,000 check came from there too. So I had all that money, went around, and I raised $250,000 at that time. That's 97, I think.
97.
I have to check. Anyway, so we built this Islamic State on the condition that it will be used and not misused, otherwise they will be replaced. Yeah. And the good thing, of course, was that they will clean it, the place, so written there, it's all in the documents, it's all written contracts and everything there. And if it's not used, it won't be. And so this is how those things came about. So do that proper direction, proper everything. Couldn't go the Goomba because that would be difficult one to apparent. So then it came to, we had that discussion, what do we call it? So the day we had to use a hikmah, we decided not to use mosque. That was allergic. Already there was in the paper, local, we used to call it substandard, evening substandard. Evening standard, we used to joking call it substandard. It was all the Christian group, number of Christian groups start writing that. Boy, this mosque here, there's no church. But anyway, so we said, so got that, and alhamdulillah. So that was, we made a place that milk and bread in front of the back, all those facilities, as long as they used.
Very big and very useful facility.
So at that time, now I believe it's a bit smaller, but this was the thing. So we used the hikmah that we call it a center. Then they said, what name you want to give? And they said, well, how about we call it اشرف Salami? And I said, no. I don't want to be in my name, make it messy. Because they wanted, obviously, this is how these things are done here, if somebody done something. So this was. And then I actually went around to meet Auckland University Vice Chancellor, who happened to be one of their previously our staff here, Professor Animal Science guy. And so he was there, so I spoke to him. I said, why didn't you do a similar thing? When I became an MP then later on, I said, well, I went around to all the universities and talked to them, but there was a lot of pressure from locals. And so anyway, that was the story there. Now, just briefly before we finish, I just wanted to also tell you how many of you have come about here. Okay? Most of you probably don't know that, and turned out to be the messengers. So I went to, as I said, 89 in Pakistan. So the first thing we did, when I started there as a director of Pharmaceutical Institute, which we became the member of the group. And so the High Commissioner of New Zealand, who used to be in Tehran, okay. So he came over because he knew me because of my involvement of those days, and he said, Ashraf, I want to help you. Now that you come back and you're going to be here, and there was almost a relationship in New Zealand and Pakistan pretty dead. Nothing was happening. There was hardly any trade. And he said, well, so he saw the opportunity, maybe I can help, these things. So he came and said, well, first thing he said, okay, I have it. I think it was the month of, end of May or early June. He said, Ashraf, end of the year, we have some money left over for the budget. And I got it $50,000. Can you use it somewhere? And I help you. You are here now. So anyway, well, first I didn't know what to do with it, how to do it, that. And then, so I talked to your colleague, Yusuf. Chودhry Yusuf was the member of the DG, all that. And he didn't know what to do, how to. I said, I got a $50,000 being offered. Can you take it? And I said, oh, no, how do I do it? So, in the end, he said, because the ambassador asked me, well, tell me which item, what can you do with it? And I thought to myself, I said, look, how about we use money for grassland development in Pakistan? But they wanted to have something which related to New Zealand. And so I said to these guys, look, how about we put this money to run? 50,000 those days, 30 years ago was pretty good money. So anyway, in the end, I got the guy, the DG, to accept it. They said, oh, well, we'll use it for paying the bills for masjid, like this. I said, well, take the money then, take it, being offered, at least take it, do something, So he said, okay, we'll pay the bill. And the second thing he said, Ashraf, I want to get those scholarships, ODS scholarships this time. And so he said, you choose the students, you send it, and we'll give them 3 scholarships this year, 3 scholarships next year. This was started. So, cut the story short. So I said to ERC, I said, look, give me the names of 6 people and I'll select 3. And forward it to them and get them students selected, which I did. And this chap here, his father was one of those first one who was recipient of that scholarship. But this is second generation. And at least half a dozen more such people, second generation children who are either born here or came here, they are now from second generation. So his father, who was the veterinary scientist in the day, this fellow Budget and others, and a few others, is the one who got it, but even after he got married, before coming here, he got so sick, waiting, talking to our wife, he said, a month after, he said, very best to myself. Anyway, so this is how it started. So I had 6 students, those times, got them, government scholarship, and then So of course there were a lot of private students came too and helped with some of these. But the main thing was when I met up with Musharraf, he asked me to come and see him, and I went to see him 2006 when I was in Pakistan. And visited Pakistan, and anyway, cut the story. I invited him to come to visit New Zealand, which he did. And one of those outcome of that visit was, of course, we had 2 or 3 things, and we asked him to help establish the embassy in Wellington, which he did. And also we had a program to have some veterinary help for Pakistan, which we did. And the third thing, the important thing was, by that time, by the way, so I told him that when I was in Parliament from 2002, one of the things that I was always part of the Science and Education Committee, Select Committee, and I became briefly a chairman as well. So we said, these PhD students who come from overseas, PhD thesis, it does contribute a lot of good research. And we know that a significant number of the theses converge into some financial gain, through patents and all that kind of thing. And so why don't we charge them with local fees for PhD? Right? And I'm proud to say that I was part of that decision that we should make PhD students pay local fees, overseas students. So this has happened in 2004 or 5. And then اشرف came, so I told him in his year, his Jahangir Tareen, and there was a guy who was a higher education chef, I told him,
sorry, tea, coffee.
oh, that's good, thank you. I put to, we had the opportunity to spend 2 days here, so 10 o'clock asked me to accompany him to different things. So I said to him, I explained to اشرف and the Authority, I said, look, there's about $5,000 fees at the time for international PhDs. I said, you're never going to get anywhere in the law world this level of fees. 5,000 if you send your own private students here. And I said, this is going to be the best education you're going to ever get anywhere. Because I had taught in America myself, spent 4 years in England, and I knew this was the best education, particularly agriculture. A lot of our students used to come to agriculture. And to all his credit, despite the fact that I wasn't very happy with Musharraf as being a military leader, I said to him, this is the thing that you can benefit. You're a private student coming here, is $5,000 no big deal now, because of that time. So we basically had all the vice chancellors had a meeting in Auckland with Helen Clark as well and with Esheriff, and we said, okay, we'll offer you yearly basis 150 seats for PhD in New Zealand. Okay? You're going to pay for it through HEC. At that time, Pakistan used to get a lot of money. Remember when America used to say, you kill your people, they give you the money. Right? So there's a lot of money in Pakistan. So HEC agreed with that. And within a year, we had other research students come. PhD, that free, low fee, $5,000 for a master student. It was a science student, about 30,000, 30,000. So this was something I must say. Musharraf, he was quite broad fellow. What I found him, I had 2 or 3 meetings with him in Pakistan and here. One of the things was that he understood. You tell him something that this is good for you guys in Pakistan. He was very happy. All right, let's do it. Embassy, when I told him, I told him actually, I know they're listening. I said, look, Indian embassy here. why didn't you, at that time, I need to recall, Helen Clark had a very good relationship with Tony Blair. So, I said to Eshraf, I said, look, you guys are not over to America and UK and all that, aid you get, help you get is all strings attached. Why do you come to New Zealand or Australia? And I said, we will be your eyes and ears. We will help you. And you get the best education you can get. And that guy, he understood that. So this is how it started. We had 100 students came here. So many of them, of course, stayed here too, back. So many of them came to Massey because they were agricultural-based students. And these are the good examples of they came separately, independently. Many of them. And then, of course, for a number of years they were coming, some in Christchurch, some in Auckland, Massey, Auckland, and all that. But then, of course, unfortunately, Pakistan government didn't have the money, so they are sending only a few of them. But at the same time, then I started encouraging people, private students, like a fellow came here, that why didn't you come and spend your own money? Okay, accommodation cost. And for most of them, I said, oh, you get your scholarship when you're here. And this is how he got his free PhD in the end, because you guys have good brains. This is what I told them, that look, these guys will contribute good to your research and all that, so use them. So alhamdulillah, so this is how these things are coming. So private students now, a number of them are coming now and going. Because where else are you going to get $5,000-$6,000 worth of yearly fees? So this is how it is happening. And you're coming here. We are very happy in New Zealand that you're contributing to the research, publishing, to some patents and copyrights and all that. It's good for us. So this is how that thing is happening. And it's funny. The other day, a Sikh fellow came to me, a friend, came to me and said, "Look, you've been doing so much for Pakistan. Why didn't you do it for us, my Punjabi people?" Why not? And actually, right now, I told him the way. I said, "Look, establish a trust or something," and they have already put in $200,000 towards the trust number. And now they are going to be doing the same thing. What I did, 15, 16 years ago. So they are going to be bringing some Punjabi students under that fee scheme. PhD. I said, look, we'll do it for PhD. Master, you have to pay the full fee, which is too much. And so many of them, alhamdulillah, have stayed here, come back, and brought their children back. Now they're studying, and this fellow's here. Of course, Hanif's children came back, and then we had Dr. Zakir from Kashmir. His daughter has come back recently. This guy I brought from Uzbekistan. And that's where my other project was, where I gave the funds to Pakistan and Uzbekistan. And his two daughters, who were born here, now they became adult, and now they come to study in Dunedin. So this is how the second wave started coming in children. But of course, those days, any children born here, irrespective of the nationality of their parents, they automatically became New Zealand citizens. Not now. Now you have to be, one parent has to be the citizen or permanent resident for the children to have the citizenship. Those days, it was all, anybody born here could get citizenship. So many of those kids coming back, his sister is coming back who was born here. And so many of them, although you went back, they are now for the children.
So what are the main key lesson I learned from your story is that we have to think beyond our only the current job, and we have to go to the decision-maker table and to show leadership and academic, leadership or a citizenship kind of a thing as well, that we have to contribute to the wider society and wider community. That is the one of the
that's one thing. I think I'll go a step back. But first, develop the confidence. you are as good as anybody. And how there are people who've been here, they have proved that they can do that. Unfortunately, because of our background, in the colonial background, a lot of people, when they see, they go off a lot of, they're shy, but after a while you find out, you're better. Honestly, I found that you're better than not. I have no shame telling them, because you develop that confidence after a while. These buggers, they don't work hard, and our people do. And those of you who don't know what to do. So the first thing is, don't consider yourself that you're second class. That confidence has to be from within. And then you've got to work toward those of you that will be staying here, working here. Don't be shy of taking the leadership role. Because you can do anything. So do that, have that confidence that you can do leadership. Don't stay.
And here just I want to add another thing actually. We have a number of now female PhD students and graduates. They are contributing a lot within the country. I mean, Sabha is here, there are a few others at Messi. And now Munaza is here as well. And I was saying that with the two little children doing a PhD and a husband is doing PhD and after that contributing. So probably Munaza will tell her own little introduction rather than myself. Or
you're not the first one. I had a few other students, and this lady Amsha was one of those. They liked that, 2 children, and came for PhD. Anyway, go ahead, and then if you got any questions.
So, where you want me to start? To cut it short? So I have a background, rural background, very proud of that.
What background?
I was born and raised in the village.
Yeah, good, you're like me.
In Okada, in a very small town of Okada. And I had my actually high school in that village school. And after that I started doing the biology. And after biology, my father was keen that I will do a medicine doctor. And when I couldn't do it, so then I decided I would go for agriculture. And he was quite sad because he said that you're a girl, and what are you gonna do? And I applied for veterinary sciences. That's very funny that my mother said that I can imagine that people will be knocking on the door and they will say that there are the patients outside lined up and they will be animals. So what are we gonna say to them? So don't study veterinary. I said, okay. Then I can at least do the agriculture and agricultural sciences from the UAF, the University of Horticulture, Agricultural Sciences. And they are like, I don't know, they're still the same. So the teachers used to tell us that why you girls are here. It's not a ladies' field. And he used to give me, if others are doing, the boys were doing one marla, then he will give me one canal to make the field. But that was interesting. That was very good, challenging with the long scarf.
So you're now working here?
Yes, I do.
Which department?
Just free. I'm a horticulture.
What research? At the university?
No, I have worked in plant and food research.
Yeah.
And I worked at Massey, but now I am with Despre International. So now the Massey and all other institutes are our clients.
So you are basically post-harvest.
Yes, I am. So we have whatever the research Despre needs. So from the post-harvest side, I'm their face.
So anyway,
introduction रह गया सर
साजिद
साहब
so anyway,
साजिद साहब का introduction रह गया.
And there is one thing which you were saying that there is a platform for the people who want to do PhD privately. I haven't seen something like that, anything like that.
there are a whole lot of students
Yeah,
here.
7,000 fees.
Yes.
People can apply for the PhD. And the fees is 7,000.
I know, that is. But the thing is that any platform which can guide them, like when I was coming, I didn't know anything about that. I did my own research, and that was
They have to find the supervisor directly on email.
Yeah.
and link up with them.
If they
Good
don't know
God is here, he
anyone,
should be telling these things.
इनका इंट्रोडक्शन रह गया है
So starting from
PhD in innovation management back in 2018. Was working here for foodstuffs and now got a job at Pakistan Institute of
Good luck to you. They got citizenship here?
No,
Where will be your job in Pakistan then?
Five.
In Islam.
It's a very sort of recognized institution in Pakistan.
Anyway, if you guys got any questions, 'cause I got another 15 minutes. I'm here actually. I'm going to, of course, visiting home here. My family, extended family, all of them are here. And so for me, this is home, and it's always going to be home. And of course, recently I haven't really come around here much. But in my own family, I've got 3 children, my own. And one elder one is a surgeon, and my younger one is a senior lawyer with ASB Bank, corporate lawyer. And my daughter, she got IT business. She's a very successful IT business. There's 50 staff working in Lahore and over here. So alhamdulillah, they all done well. So they really now. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. Like Hanif is gonna. I'm gonna die here in Pakistan, but Auckland, I don't know where.
It's a fight. My grandchildren say no, it's Mecca, and I don't know Mecca. I had one auntie and she died in Karachi, and she said, "Don't bury me in Karachi because I don't know anybody in the area."
Anyway, so if there's any question, please do ask. And